Sometimes you are just too fat. There, I said it, and while both people of girth and the politically correct might get all up in arms about it, the question of what happens when you are too fat is really an important one to talk about. Now, maybe it's unfair of me to speak about this in the same way I'm not allowed to use the N-word, even though folks with darker skin than I have get a pass on the issue. Or because I'm allowed to make Jewish jokes, because, well, I'm a member of that tribe. But political correctness is not my bag, and by the way, I'm not really talking about weight. And you already knew that, right? What happens when you're too fat? Like so much of what I write here to discuss business change and business process, this piece stems from things that happen in my life. I happen to be doing a bit of traveling lately, and that might well be why the folks at Medium shoved this piece in front of me the other day. Plus, I couldn't resist the chance to pull out this oldie but goodie from the archives. The piece at Medium is a lament from a heavy person with a fear of flying based on the many issues that crop up when you're too fat. Like me, unless you have the same problems as that person, you'd probably never given any thought to the psychological impact of life when you're too fat, let alone how it impacts others, especially on a plane where space is so challenging anyway. And I commented over there. The story touched me. And then I started thinking about perspective and the way we communicate every day. There are so many ways people put out messages and get back, well, not what they expected. I spend a lot of time thinking about conversions, for example, so, well, that should come as no surprise. We help our clients to get them, and you can't achieve conversions until you know what they are. What was the conversion the author of that piece on what it feels like before, during, and after an airplane flight when you're overweight was looking for? Well, I'm not sure. What was my goal in responding there? And again here, well, traffic and engagement. Then there's the question of adjusted rhetoric. Even if you know exactly what message you're trying to put out and what the hoped-for conversion event is, the way you say things has an impact, and no matter how good your intentions, the way it sounds to different people will be different. This is where things get really interesting. Be too careless and you're going to sound like a jerk to a lot of people, and speak too carefully and, yeah, you guessed it, you're going to sound like a jerk to a lot of people. Your job then is to find the correct balance, and that's not always easy, and of course it's why we're here. It is not always easy. It doesn't have to tie you in knots. Know what you want to say, don't be afraid to say it, and if you're too fat, embrace it. It comes off real, and people respond to real. When you're too fat, you can pretend to be thin, you can ignore the matter, you can create a fat is beautiful scenario. And by the way, it's the last one that's most likely to pay off. I'm the Answer Guy, and I'll be back.